Hello, welcome to this recap of the day one of the World Blitz Championship, which is taking place in Poland. Here you can see the standings and the hero of the day, Mr. Levon Aronian, now playing under new flag, USA. He played brilliant chess, and we will examine all his games today in this video recap. We are going to learn a lot from this great Armenian player. What happened with some of the favorites? Magnus Carlsen, he lost 3 games. And now he's placed number 8 with some other specialists like Dubov, Grishouk, Nakamura, Anish Giri, Artemiev, and some other favorites like Firoja. They are even worse with only 8 out of 12. And we see some new names on the top. Mr. Amin Basim, he's a doctor from Egypt, grandmaster, around 30 years old, but he is probably a good blitz specialist. Same we can say about Parham Makhsodlo. He's a very young player from Iran, grandmaster, and they are doing the tournament of their life. And some young names also there. Sindarov from Ukraine, very young player. Kravtsiv, also from Ukraine. And candidate Nepomniachtchi, also on the pack of 8.5. Tomorrow 9 games have to be played, so many things can happen. But today we are going to enjoy the chess of Levon Aronian. I will show you his brilliant performance today with 9 wins, 2 draws, and only 1 loss. And we will go game by game to see all the talent of this good friend, this very strong Armenian player. I have a joke with him. We were playing one friendly game once in Mallorca. He was very kind, playing with even all amateurs after the tournament, and he made a very nice compliment when we played together, a very tough game. He told me, well, you are this famous Spanish Botvinnik. Okay, I was very proud. Of course, he beat me anyway. Who cares about Botvinnik if you have Aronian? Okay, so let's enjoy with his games, and we will always play from his point of view. He was playing black on the first round with Jahongir Bahidov, playing from Uzbekistan, this country which is bringing a lot of good players. For example, Abdusatorov, who became World Rapid Champion. Okay, in this line, they went finally to some King's Indian, and the white made a very good choice, in my opinion. A very solid line with bishop g5 and bishop d2. This is very safe. I like a lot, and if you play with white and you don't know what to do against the King's Indian, this is a very good choice. White immediately cleans the diagonal, so the bishop cannot really be so strong, the Indian bishop. And white controls quite well the center. Here bishop e6 was played, but immediately on move 14, white made a mistake, showing that his understanding of this line is quite poor. He played e4, blocking the diagonal for the white bishop and allowing the move b5. Black took immediately the initiative. What should white play? Here, the best move is probably knight e1. The ideas, like some games of mine, are knight d3, knight f4, and black has to be very careful. I mean, d5 is not working because bishop f4, and white is winning an exchange. And if knight e5, then a4, and white is in full control of the board and slightly better. Okay, in the game after b5, then black was immediately slightly better. He played b4, and this pawn is stopping too, and also the knight is badly placed on a4. So white, of course, it's not lost, but already slightly difficult position. Here e5 was probably the best move, and black has to answer with knight d5, keeping some advantage. But white played bishop f4, and then black is in time to get a stronghold on e5. We will see that black is already seriously better, and after g5 and g4, he's fixing his knight there. It reminds me of one game which I lost with Radyavov some years ago in San Benoni. He managed to put such a strong knight, and now the play is pretty simple for black. You will see how Aronian won easily in this position with queen d3. Here white should find he didn't. He should find take and rook d1. Instead, he traded queens, and now he's losing material because bishop d4 is hanging, rook e1, and when he took on g7, rook c1, and black is winning after knight c1, and white resigned. So this was a good start for Levon Aronian, and let's see the next game where he was white, and we will go immediately to the moment where, well, I mean, let me show you, because I think it's quite interesting the way he played. Let's go fast, because it's quite interesting. Here, this is considered to be a very solid position, but it's clear Levon prepared specifically this line for this rapid chess. And it's quite interesting to have some lines which are not so well known, but you just work them for a Blitz tournament. And this is what he did here. He was playing quite confident, quite fast. He's going to get the pair of bishops. And of course, the black position is very playable. But at one point he made a very bad mistake, knight h5. Can you find what is the refutation which was played by Mr. Aronian? Okay, congratulations if you found the move knight g5. This is a very powerful move. We are attacking f7 with 2 pieces. This is a deadly threat. So black has to take on g5, and then we can take on h5. And this is going to fall after bishop e6, take, bishop g5. White is a pawn up, and Aronian won easily. So let's go to see game number 3. This was the first game he could not win. He was playing with black, so we are going to try to promote this pawn. But the problem is that this is not enough to win, because after king e4, a2, take, white plays king d5. And black is not in time to play bishop g5. I mean, if white would play now a mistake, then black is winning. Okay, of course, this is winning. But the problem is that after bishop g5, black plays king e5, and it's not possible to win. In fact, f4, f5 is coming, and it will be immediately a draw. So, well, f4 and then king e6, king f7. It depends on what white plays. So this is draw completely. In fact, it was even more simple to put king on g4 and play f4, f5. In the game, it was king b2, f4, bishop c3, king e6, here, take, draw. 2.5 out of 3 for Levon, and he played very well with the white pieces on game 4, and he outplayed completely his young opponent, Johan Sebastian Christiansen from Norway. Levon was here 2 pawns up, but I wanted to show you how he finished this game in style. What would you play? You can stop the video and try to find what is the best move here. And this is b4, fantastic, beautiful move. Black cannot take it. If pawn takes, then rook takes, and white rooks enter with a decisive advantage. And if a b4, then we have this long variation, and white is going to give checkmate in a few moves after rook f1. So in the game, black tried queen, rook takes g5, and white played take, and he got a winning attack, and in fact a mating attack in a few moves. This was checkmate. So good for Levon, 3.5 out of 4, a good start. And this was a important game because he lost against young talent from India, Abhimanyu Puranik, 20 years old, grandmaster, and Levon playing with the black pieces. He got a difficult position after the opening because he was playing very over-optimistic, very ambitious in this kind of Volga gambit. I always thought this should be all right for black, but it's not so easy to play. And here I believe Levon played not the best. Bishop g4 and queen d7. Maybe I think it's better bishop e7 and castle. And the position is probably around equal. But he was playing very aggressive, you will see. And at this point he went h5. Probably, again, it was maybe wiser to go for some solid setup. But he went h5. And the problem here, we will see that when the pawn goes to h4, the problem for black is that he cannot really take because white would take with the pawn, and then suddenly the rook would be attacking the black king, and this then delays a lot the attack, And after a few moves, black got bad position, the rook on h6. This reminds me this famous game of the World Championship, Carlsen Nepo. Be very careful to put rooks on h6, then f6 necessary to protect e5, and then, okay, we may ask, what is the rook doing there, you know, on h6? Black is going to be in big trouble very soon, and Levon, he collapsed here. He understood his worst, and he wanted to try some attack, but in fact, he only managed to lose some pawns, and after a few moves, he's going to lose a second pawn, and then a third pawn, and finally, okay, he lost this game, of course, with so many pawns down. It was 3.5 out of 5. Then he was a bit far from the top boards, but Levon was ready for a big comeback, and that started with a very nice game against Maxim Matlakov, Russian Grandmaster. And let me show you again, because we are going to learn this opening. You know, I think I'm going to start to play it myself. In this game, black didn't want to play d6. He wants to keep his bishop alive, and he plays a6 just to have this square a7. And then Levon plays a4, doing the same favor to his own bishop, and then plays bishop e3. Of course, part of his preparation. And it's a very tricky position. Black castled maybe a bit early, because white then started to attack. It's not so clear anyway. I mean, the position is very playable. Here black should take on g5, and I don't know, it's difficult to say if white is much better or only slightly better. Anyway, it's a game. But Matlakov, I think he kind of panicked. He went bishop c4, and now he's in big trouble after take and d4. A very good move from Levon, pretending d5. And here, after pawn takes g7, black had last chance to get a decent position. I think he should sacrifice exchange with d takes c3, and this is maybe playable. But in the game, he went rook e8, and after pawn takes d4, now he understands he's in deep trouble. And why? Well, I mean, the point is that white wants, if black plays a natural move, white is threatening d5. But if black plays something like bishop f5, then we have the move queen d2. And after white wants to go long castle, but after bishop e4, then we have the move queen h6, and we want to mate on h8. Check king f2, and white is winning. So probably after bishop f5, queen d2, black can still try something like queen f6, but white is better with queen f4, and we will go long castle later probably, and it's clearly better for white. So in the game it was even worse, because black went queen f6 and he forgot about d5, or maybe he thought he's going to get some compensation here, but the truth is that it's simply a piece down, and after a few moves Levon got the full point. He's with winning attack, piece up, and the game was over very soon with a checkmate. In fact, this happened in the game. Beautiful checkmate from Levon Aronian. Okay, we have to say that after rook h5, rook f7, this was not working, because after check, the white rook is attacking here, so black is lost. Okay, so this was a good game to come back, as I said, and now we go to round 7, where Levon is already playing in table 10, and after a long game with against Mahammad Muradli, a very young player from India, they got this position. Levon was playing with the black pieces, so let's enjoy from his perspective. He's a pawn up, and he showed very good determination to kill the game in a very convincing way. How would you play here with black? Can you find what is the best plan here? Well, maybe rook d7 is not bad. I would probably play rook d7, trying rook d2. I don't know why. Maybe white has something here, but it looks pretty good. But the plan which Levon made was also very strong. Rook a7 and a3. After pawn takes, rook takes, he's not scared of this pawn coming, because he saw that he's going to checkmate his opponent after the move b4, which is very good. It came, of course, pawn takes, it's impossible, because mating one move, also the rook is hanging. And after h7, Levon, he played b takes c3, And now if h8, of course, it's a checkmate in 2 moves. So white played knight e3 just to prevent c2, but then it comes another checkmate in 2 moves with rook b2 and rook a1, and that's checkmate. So another win for Levon Aronian, who was getting closer to the leaders, playing very good chess, as you can see. On round 8, he met a very mighty opponent, Alexander Grishouk. They know, of course, very well each other, and the game was pretty equal after the opening. Levon playing with the white pieces, move 22. But here Grishouk started to make small mistakes. White is slightly better. In fact, the king is probably a bit safer. This pawn on f6 is pretty bad. And white has the open file, and black cannot play rook d8 because he's losing this pawn. I mean, black wants to play rook d8, but this is hanging. Okay, so that's why Grishouk played e5. But this is weakening white squares, and probably it was better to play queen e7 and rook c7. Okay, it's true, white has the open file, but black is very solid, and this should be a draw. After e5, white gets some more play, because after queen d3, now probably, again, it was better to play queen e7, but the only thing is that after check, we need to go king f8, just to control everything. If queen d7, then rook c7, still it's okay for black. But Grishouk played another dubious move, h6. And then after queen d7, he's already slightly worse, and he should admit that he has to go for this endgame, which is probably possible to hold. He's coming with a king, and white is better, but these double pawns, this is not easy for white to win. But what he did was much worse. He went e4, and now he's going to lose material. The threat is rook d7, and after take, takes, and white won easily this endgame with a pawn up, with good technique from Levon Aronian. So he got already quite close. This was he was playing in table 5, and after this win, he was getting closer to the leaders, already playing on table 3, and this was, of course, a critical game for him, for his chances to win the tournament, playing black with Jan Duda, a very strong Polish player. And well, it was a strange game. I will show you. The opening was this line, which Levon was ready to play in a previous game. He went for this endgame after queen d1, king takes, pawn takes, and he even won in a previous round. But here Duda, he deviates from that game, and he plays queen e2 check, which is not such a good idea, I have to say. I think black is completely fine here. It's a symmetrical position. It looks like black queen is in little trouble, but in fact the queen is very okay on h5, and the white has some problems. He cannot castle because after bishop h2, black is going to be a pawn up. And I thought at the beginning, okay, come on, white has to be all right with the move bishop c4, because if castle, bishop e6, and if rook e8, then we can even take, and bishop e3. Maybe there is some compensation, but black is a pawn down. I mean, but then I was analyzing pawn takes e6, and suddenly I understood that this is not so easy. I mean, because if the king goes to, I mean, now there is a threat rook f3, and g5 is hanging, and of course short castle is impossible, and to take on e6 is really very risky. So, well, that's why maybe Duda played h3, but okay, then Levon went castle, long castle, but the king on c1 is not so good, and now black has very good coordination with knight e5. This is a very important move. White cannot take, because if knight takes, then queen g5 check, and black is winning a piece. So after knight e5, white played bishop e4, but he's in big trouble here, because black played knight f3, now g5 is hanging. Duda's idea was to go h4, and now can you find how Levon played? This is one very beautiful move, which I'm sure you will find if you have some creative mind. Yes, white wants to regain the piece with bishop takes f3, but it's a good moment to take on g5, give the queen, and take on e4. We have 3 pieces for the queen. Usually this can be better for the pieces, but if the position is very open, the queen can fight sometimes. First of all, it's 3 pieces with 2 bishops. This is also important. It's not 2 knights. It's 2 bishops and knight. And secondly, the pieces have strong squares on the center. Look, after queen f3, f5, all pieces are very good, and the white rooks have no way to enter. And in fact, I think the position is completely lost. It was quite fast, the decision. Duda could not really find anything to fight against these pieces. White started, to blunder some pawns, but it was already very difficult. I mean, he sacked exchange, so now black has even more material. Rook, bishop, knight, and 1 pawn for the queen. It's already like 2-3 pawns up, and well, the game ended pretty soon after a few moves, because the white king is going to get mated, basically. Okay, so this was bringing Levon Aronian to the top of the table, and he was not playing in table 1 because Magnus Carlsen is playing all the games in table 1 for an agreement with some Norwegian TV. Personally, I don't like it. I mean, I think table 1 should be for the leaders of the tournament, that you have to do some other arrangement with Norwegian TV, but I'm very sorry. Well, I don't know, this is the way they do it, and usually Magnus is leading, so it's no problem, but today Levon was playing on table 2 against Fedoseyev, this position, and they were leading the tournament on table 2. And what would you play here with white? Because the last move from black was a mistake, bringing his knight to g6. And you can tell me why was it a mistake. Levon saw it immediately. I was watching this game live, and he blitzed the move. I mean, it was immediately punishment, knight e6. And now black has to take, queen takes, and he's going to lose a pawn. The pawn on e6 is lost, because even if e5 probably, then we have moved queen e6 check, and e5 is falling. So black played queen f7, Vladimir Fedoseyev, a very good blitz specialist, but he could not save the game. I mean, this endgame, white is pawn up, and the rook is very active, and Levon Aronian, he converted without any problem. Very good technique from the great Levon. So round 11, only 2 more games to finish the day. Already Levon, leader, and he was playing with white against with black against the young phenomenal player Martin Kraftsif, which was one of the surprises of the tournament. And this game, okay, don't miss it. It's very funny. Look what happened. It's incredible. I mean, they were playing this, and there is one very famous line of move 4, which is d4, take, and here it's playable knight takes e4. This is a very tricky line. If white takes on c6, then black takes on c3, and if white takes on e4, then we have the move queen e7, and it looks like more or less black is doing fine. But in this game, look, very tricky, a very stupid move, which I really don't understand, a4. I don't know this move. Maybe it was a3. That would make some sense. That would make some sense. Maybe it's a mistake of the board. Okay, I don't know. But if it was a4, then we have a situation which is quite funny, because take, knight takes, and here Levon played his line, which he prepared, knight takes e4, but with the pawn on a4, this is not working. Can you see why it's not working? It reminds me one video which I made a couple of days ago of this game of Grishouk playing black, which he won. And the trick is that after knight takes e4, queen e7, now white has, yes, rook a3, and white is winning. I mean, we cannot take on e4 because rook e3, and if check, c3, and here already queen e2 is possible, but even stronger, c4, and black is lost. I mean, the rook coming to e3, it's the end of the game. Okay, according to the official broadcast, white here played knight c6, and after take, bishop d5, bishop d3, bishop d6, and the game was a draw. I think the pawn was on a4, because if we continue watching this game, we will see that at this point black played b5 and white took, so the pawn was on a4. That means that the move 6 94 was a decisive mistake, but Levon Aronian had today the gods on his side, and he was not punished for this mistake with this beautiful move rook a3. Okay, so we go to the last game. Levon still leading, and on round 12 he played with a very dangerous opponent, Danil Dubov. The Russian is a blitz specialist, and the game, well, I mean, looked like it was going to be equal, like a draw, but now look how Levon played fantastic. After 4 or 5 hours playing blitz, he could find very good moves. You can try to play like him. Okay, what would you do here with white? What is the best move which pose more problems for black? And the answer is b3. White tries to attack on c4 and maybe later rook a4 and to grab this pawn. That's why probably this was a mistake. Maybe it was better to try to activate the bishop, and even if losing the pawn, sometimes after bishop c5 we can maybe kind of make a draw, have some compensation, even if black loses the pawn. But after c takes b3, queen b3, now b5 is under fire, and Dubov, he thought that bishop c6 is going to be enough to keep the game equal. But the answer of Levon was fantastic. In a blitz game, he found now a very difficult move. Can you try to find it? Of course, it's not bishop b5. This I can find myself. I mean, this was possible, but this is not enough. He found the move. Okay, rook a7, you may think, but it's also nothing special. I mean, we can play queen b8, and it's, well, I mean, it's, of course, white is better, but maybe not so much. The move was amazing. c4, very nice move. Now we want to take with the pawn, and black is kind of forced to take on c4, and after bishop takes, f7 is hanging, and rook a7, and black is unlucky. He cannot even sacrifice the queen. If he moves the queen, then white simply takes on f7 with check. I mean, if queen c8 or something like that, we have this move winning immediately. And if queen takes a7, black is unlucky that white has queen b6, and this is winning immediately. So Dubov played his only move, bishop b7, and it looks like he can maybe hold somehow. But Levon, he was with very good inspiration in today's game, and he played bishop a6, which is the best move in the position. He was in a bit of a shock after the move queen a5, and I thought, okay, Levon has missed this move, and in fact he missed it, his face. I mean, it was clear that he was surprised, but queen a5, the point is that the queen is attacking on e1, so white is not in time to take on b7, and now it is black who's going to take on a6, and I thought, okay, maybe now Levon is going to lose. But look what he found. It's amazing. I mean, with so few time on the clock, he found the move rook c1, which deserves 2 exclamation marks, and the point is that black played bishop a6, take, and now we have this checkmate which is coming after take bishop h6, and there is no way to prevent the taking on f8. Black played here, queen takes, and he resigned. Well, fantastic game from Levon. It's true that black should try here queen a6, but it was a very difficult move to make. Still, white is better, but maybe here it's possible to make a draw. I believe if the bishop is able to come back to e6, maybe black can save this game, but that's another story. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this this recap. Let's see the again. Let's see the standings. I think tomorrow we'll have this game Aronian Amin on table 1, and Max Odulu will fish somebody from the group, maybe Magnus. And let me show again Levon's photo. Let's see Lebon, this is the man, my friend. Congratulations. But okay, tomorrow 9 more games, and I'm sure we are going to enjoy a day of wonderful chess like it happened today. So see you tomorrow. Don't miss the action here on ICC. Bye bye.